I'm 42 years old, and every day I fight a battle against aging and win. Now, women generally decline as they age, and there's not much they can do about it. However, as a man, it is vitally important that you do everything you can to age gracefully, because you actually have control. A man can look better with age, but if he doesn't take care of himself, he could look much worse, missing out on his prime time to be his most attractive to women. This is me at 25. Look how dorky I looked and how bad my skin was. This is me at 40. But how do you stay young as you age? Fortunately, there's a lot of science to answer this question, and I've researched all of it so you don't have to. I'm going to show you everything I'm doing to combat aging and stay in prime health. I'll go over all the supplements and pharmaceuticals I'm taking and talk about my diet and exercise routine so you can look as good as me when you get here. But before we get into what I'm doing, let's talk about what actually causes aging. Now, most of the information I'm giving you here came from David Sinclair's book Lifespan, Why We Age. The traditional theory of aging says that aging is caused by DNA mutations and that by eating a bunch of blueberries and acai bowls full of antioxidants, we can live longer. Well, it turns out that's mostly crap and was based on some bad research. In fact, antioxidants are pretty much completely useless and can actually harm your fitness gains unless you're around 70 plus. What causes aging is a loss of analog information from the epigenome. Your DNA is digital information. It consists of 4 nucleotides that code up your entire genetic information. But in each cell, there is an epigenome, which is made up of chemical compounds and proteins that can attach to DNA and turn specific genes on and off. The epigenome is why all your cells contain the same DNA, but some cells are skin cells and others are muscle cells. Essentially, what happens is that over time, the epigenome starts to fall apart from cell damage, loss of information, and natural wear and tear, and the cells start to forget what kind of cells they are.
20th century going into the second quarter of the 21st century.
The rebuilding of Syria, of Libya.
I want to thank the Prime Minister for Colombia's leadership in the ASEAN.
Which causes them to lose their functionality, which causes aging. However, there are proteins called sirtuins that can repair damaged DNA and restore much of the epigenome. These sirtuins need a molecule called NAD+ to function. But as we age, we start to make less of these NAD+ molecules, which contributes greatly to aging. Theoretically, if we can keep NAD+ levels up as we age, we can boost sirtuin activity, repairing DNA and the epigenome more efficiently and slowing down the aging process. It's kind of like a factory of robots that are running around repairing everything, and NAD+ is like an extra battery pack that keeps them energized as their batteries run down over time. I say theoretically because none of this is absolutely proven yet, but this method of combating aging seems very promising so far. This is a very short synopsis, but if you're serious about slowing down your aging, I challenge you to read David's book. Okay, now the fun part. Let's talk about what I'm taking and why. When I first wake up in the morning, I start my day by applying a face cream that consists of copper arginine, arginine, and Lufacil. Multiple studies on these compounds show their effectiveness in reversing aging and preventing wrinkles. And by the way, at the end of this video, I'll give you all the sources to where I get all the supplements, creams, and pharmaceuticals I talk about in this video, so don't panic. Next, I go to my huge pill box and take all of my morning supplements. Let's break them down one by one. The first is NMN. This is one of the main supplements David Sinclair talks about that has the potential to boost NAD+ levels. The problem is there is some debate as to whether orally ingesting NMN results in an increase in NAD+ levels, but the research looks good enough to me at this point to take it. I used to take resveratrol every day, but after talking with Rimon from Wellness Messiah with Rimon, by the way, check out his channel, link in the description below, I realized that I was actually reversing the effects of the exercise I was doing since resveratrol acts as an antioxidant. I now switched to taking resveratrol just once a week with some olive oil and in a much smaller dosage. I was also taking quercetin, but after talking with Rimon,
because you expose your body to this massive amount of stress, and you don't want anything in the muscle that is going to negate it, because you're doing the right things. You don't want anything to negate the stress that you put on your body. So you're actually in a position to lose much more from antioxidants.
I also stopped taking it because it is also a powerful antioxidant, and I realized I didn't need to kill senescent cells. Senescent cells are kind of like zombie cells. As cells accumulate DNA damage, some of them become senescent and stop multiplying. They just kind of hang around and cause inflammation. Quercetin and a few other supplements show some promise in killing some of these extra zombie cells, which can strengthen the immune system since it's not always responding to false alarms. After talking with Rimon, I realized I didn't need to kill those senescent cells because it's actually good to have them up until a point. As we get older, there are too many and that causes problems, so it's not really good or necessary to try to kill them off or take antioxidants until you are more around 70 plus years old. Hyaluronic acid. I primarily take this one for skin health. Hyaluronic acid has been shown to reduce wrinkles and also to stop cancer cells from growing. SIRT6 activator. This supplement activates sirtuin 6, one of the proteins that helps repair DNA. Sirtuin 6 has been found to be one of the most beneficial sirtuins in that regard. Berberine. Dr. David Sinclair recommends taking the diabetic medication metformin for extending lifespan, but the problem with metformin is that it severely inhibits endurance. So instead, I take berberine, which has a very similar effect as metformin. Berberine helps the body break down sugars inside the cells, which reduces blood glucose levels. It also activates AMPK, which is one of the key longevity pathways. Next up is vitamin D3 with K2. Most people have low vitamin D levels, so I take this just to make sure my levels are high enough. And when you take D3, you should always take K2 as well, because D3 depletes your K2 levels. High quality fish oil. I also take a high quality fish oil every day because most of us have a bad omega-3 to omega-6 ratio, and a high quality fish oil can help increase the omega-3 ratio. Testosterone. I've been on TRT for the last 3 years. I started taking this because my SHBG levels were pretty high and nothing else would lower them. Also, at my age, 42, it makes sense to supplement testosterone to keep my levels at peak levels, which definitely has some anti-aging effects. I monitor my blood markers to make sure my cholesterol and other markers are in check because testosterone can cause some health issues for some men. HCG. When you take testosterone, your normal testosterone production drops and it can cause testicle shrinkage. I take HCG to counteract this. Rosuvastatin. I take a very small dosage of this statin, basically 2.5 milligrams 3 times per week. It's very effective in lowering LDL cholesterol and has shown some major cardioprotective properties. It does have some side effects, so that's why I take a very low dosage. Ezetimibe. I combine this with rosuvastatin in very low dosages to double the effect of the statin. By taking very small dosages of both of these, I can get large LDL cholesterol reducing effects with small enough doses of each not causing any side effects. I take coquinol because it's depleted by both exercise and the statins. Thanks to Rimon, I realized that I need to double or triple the dosage.
100 milligrams. Okay, it's enough to counteract. Actually, you're 42. I may even take 2.
As I was taking about 100 milligrams per day, so I've upped that to 200 milligrams now and will try 300 milligrams later. I've already noticed a huge improvement in my recovery from my runs. Dutasteride. I was taking this one as a preventative measure to guard against hair loss. The drug is slightly more effective than finasteride at blocking DHT conversion, which is the primary reason for losing hair. I decided to switch to a topical DHT blocker just in case to avoid any potential side effects. Semaglutide. You've probably heard about this miracle weight loss drug, which goes by the brand name Wegovy. This drug is amazing because not only does it help reduce appetite, but it also reduces the risk of heart disease along with many other benefits. Creatine. I take creatine every day because there are multiple benefits, including an increase in strength and fullness of the muscles with no downsides. Plus, creatine has actually been found to increase longevity in several studies. Collagen. I take a collagen supplement every day since it helps with skin health and appearance as well as reduces joint pain, and there's some evidence that it actually helps to increase muscle mass as well. In the evening, before I go to bed, I start off with PMG. PMG is mostly used to support my NMN use. PMG helps the body utilize NMN to produce NAD+. It's not necessary to take it in the evening, but some people have said it works better if you take it before going to bed. I use a face cream that consists of Trenoitin, alzaic acid, and niacinamide. The main ingredient here is Trenoitin, which is a retinol and is one of the most effective compounds for reversing the aging of skin, especially from sun damage. If I could only pick one skincare compound, this would be it by far. The effects are genuinely astonishing. I've even used this on some scar tissue I had on my leg and it completely disappeared. Now, I know that most men don't worry about skincare, especially when you're younger, but if you start taking care of your skin now, you're going to look much, much younger when you are older. If you wait until you're older and start seeing aging to start taking care of your skin, it will be too late. Low dose naltrexone. Okay, this one's a bit strange, but I've seen some pretty positive results from it. Normally, naltrexone is used for opiate addiction treatment, but in very low doses, it's been found to almost do a reset of your brain. I first started taking this to deal with some brain fog issues I was having after COVID, but I found that it made me sleep so much more solidly, so I kept taking it. I recently decided to stop taking it because I felt like all the brain fog is gone now, and I've been having a good night's sleep without it. and I'm convinced though that it did help me. There's a lot of research on this compound in terms of resetting the brain and helping with a whole host of ailments. Finally, we have good old minoxidil. I use this on my beard along with microneedling to promote beard growth. It's been a slow process, but I have seen results over time. Now, let's talk about how I fuel this physique. As for my diet and exercise routine, it's pretty simple. I'm fasting for most of the day. I used to do OMAD, which is 1 meal a day, but I shifted to fasting until 2 p.m. and then eating mostly protein and trying to get around 250 grams of protein total per day. While fasting is beneficial for slowing aging, some studies are showing that high protein consumption actually accelerates aging. However, I still choose high protein because it's the easiest way to stay lean and build muscle. I lift in the gym 2 or 3 times a week, and I only do 1 set of every body part to complete total failure. This might seem strange, but there's a huge body of science that shows that lifting this way produces the best results with the least amount of time, and I've seen ridiculous results with this approach. I can easily get away with just 2 25-minute workouts per week to maintain my current physique. If you're skeptical, and believe me, I was as well, check out the video I'll link in the description with my friend Jay Vincent, where we talk about how this training style works and why. I also run 3 or 4 times per week, mainly on the trails, doing very high intensity for a lot of the run. High intensity workouts have been shown to increase lifespan and many markers of good health greatly. It took lots of time and money to acquire this knowledge, but you're lucky. You're one of my followers. I'm gonna hook you up. In just minutes, I'm gonna tell you what it took me years to learn. For the TRT, HCG, dutasteride, and anything else that is pharmaceutical, I go through Marek Health. This is the TRT clinic that Derek from More Plates, More Dates started. I decided to go with them since I knew how knowledgeable Derek was, and I wanted to really work with someone who understood how to optimize my health and fitness goals. Their prices are great and the service is top notch. You can do everything from your home with a Zoom call. I'd recommend starting with a blood panel, which you can get by clicking the link in the description below. You'll get a discount if you use my landing page. Now, most of the anti-aging supplements I get from DoNotAge.org. When I first read David Sinclair's books, I really wanted to get NMN. I heard so many stories about fake or low quality NMN, so I did a huge amount of research to find a company that was reliable and had outside verification and testing of their purity. DoNotAge.org was the most reputable company I could find. I'd recommend their starter pack. Make sure you use the code BULLDOG to get a big discount on anything you buy through DoNotAge.org. Now, both of these links are affiliate links, but I use all the products I've listed here myself, and I'm not being paid to promote these companies. Both Marek and DoNotAge.org are companies I use myself, and so I asked them if I could be an affiliate so that I could share them with you. I know there's a lot of information here, and you might be tempted to put it off and not do anything, but trust me on this one, do not make this mistake. If you're a younger man right now, it's critical that you start thinking about longevity now so that you'll be way ahead of the curve when you do get older, especially in regards to skincare. And if you're already older, it's even more critical that you take immediate measures to combat aging right now before it's too late.